on. All right, what's the problem here? Ma'am, you called?
This man is trespassing. He was trying to steal from cars in the doctor's lot.
That is a lie. I am a cardiac fellow. This is my assigned parking.
ID now, slowly. Ma'am, step back.
It's in my coat pocket. My
He said slowly.
seconds.
Just keep those hands in view.
Linda Morrison had no idea what she just walked into. In the next 3 days, she would lose her job. She would face a lawsuit she could not win. She would be banned from every hospital in the network. The tired man she accused of theft was not just any doctor. He was Dr. Marcus Thompson, chief of surgery, member of the hospital board. He had worked at this hospital for 15 years. His name was on the coat she claimed he stole. His name was on the donor wall inside. Morrison was not supposed to be in that lot. She was just visiting a friend. No badge, no job there, just wrong assumptions. And the parking lot, cameras caught every single second. Before I continue, let me ask you something. Have you ever been judged before someone knew who you really were? Drop your answer in the comments below. Linda Morrison had no idea who she was blocking that day. Dr. Marcus Thompson went to Johns Hopkins for medical school. That is one of the best medical schools in the country. He did his training at Massachusetts General Hospital. Then he studied heart surgery at the Cleveland Clinic. He had been a doctor for 18 years. 15 of those years were at this hospital. 6 years ago, they made him chief of surgery. He was only 42 years old, the youngest chief in the hospital's history. But there is more. He also sat on the hospital's board of directors. He helped make the rules. He shaped how the hospital worked. Dr. Thompson had done more than 3,000 surgeries. He trained over 200 young doctors. He wrote 47 research papers. His patients gave him the highest ratings in his department. Now here is what matters most. That day, he had just finished an 8-hour surgery. A patient's heart had needed fixing. The surgery went well, but another patient was waiting at a different hospital. Another emergency, another life on the line. The BMW she blocked was his car. The coat she said was stolen had his name on the pocket. On this Tuesday, Dr. Thompson was just trying to get to his next surgery. A patient was waiting, and a stranger stood between him and saving a life. Linda Morrison had a reputation, and it was not a good one. She was 54 years old. She worked as an accounts manager at an insurance company. She lived in a nice neighborhood about 20 minutes from the hospital. She also sat on her neighborhood board. 3 of her neighbors had filed complaints against her in just 2 years. Here is the pattern: at least 7 incidents in 18 months. Every single one had the same theme. Linda decided someone did not belong somewhere. Let me tell you about a few of them. At a fancy grocery store, she demanded to see ID from a Hispanic customer. The customer was using food stamps. The store asked Linda to leave. At a country club pool, she called security on a black family. She assumed they were not members. They were actually founding members. Their family helped start the club. At this same hospital, she once complained about a worker taking a smoke break outside. She called him suspicious. He had worked there for 12 years. At a neighborhood park, she called the police on teenage boys. They were playing basketball at 2 in the afternoon on a Saturday. She said they were too loud. The hospital security team knew her. They had dealt with her twice before. In their notes, they called her the visitor who thinks she works here. Let me know in the comments, have you ever met someone like Linda? Every other time, Linda faced small embarrassment, then she moved on, but this time was different. This time she picked the wrong person. It was Tuesday, March 14th. The time was 4:47 in the afternoon. St. Helena Regional Medical Center is a big hospital. It has 340 beds. It serves more than 200,000 people in the area. The physician parking lot sits next to the surgery building. You need a key card to get in. Only doctors can park there. It was shift change time. Nurses walked to their cars. New staff pulled into the lot. A normal Tuesday at a busy hospital. Dr. Thompson walked toward his black BMW. He still wore his white coat. He held his surgical cap in his hand. He had been awake for 14 hours. 2 nurses stood near the entrance talking. A security guard named Raymond Peters sat in the booth 50 yards away. 4 other cars moved through the lot. At 4:45, Linda Morrison left the main building. She had been visiting a friend who just had knee surgery. She took the wrong exit. She ended up in the physician lot instead of the visitor parking. She saw Dr. Thompson walking to his car. She made a choice that would cost her nearly $1 million. She walked over and stood right in front of his door, arms crossed, phone in hand. Dr. Thompson thought she needed directions. He asked if he could help her. That is when everything changed. If stories like this matter to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Linda looked at him. Show me your ID badge. Dr. Thompson pointed to the badge on his coat. His name was right there. Anyone can make a fake badge, she said. How do I know that's real? He stayed calm. Ma'am, I'm the chief of surgery. I've worked here 15 years. Chiefs of surgery don't drive BMWs they can't afford. Think about that for a second. She looked at his car and decided he could not own it. Ma'am, I really need to leave. I have an emergency. The only emergency is you being somewhere you don't belong. Dr. Thompson offered to call security. He said they could prove who he was. Oh, I'm calling security, she snapped. You're not calling anyone. She pulled out her phone, but she did not call security. She started recording him instead. I want evidence when you try to run. I'm not going to run. I'm going to surgery. Please move. I'll have your job for this. Acting like a doctor is a crime. I'm not acting. My name is on the donor wall inside this building. She laughed at him. Sure it is. Dr. Thompson tried to walk around her. She stepped to the side and blocked him again. You're not getting in that car. Ma'am, you're stopping me from doing emergency surgery. Someone could die. Her response was cold. Then they'll die knowing I stopped a thief. 10 minutes had passed now. A nurse named Jennifer Walsh noticed the scene. She recognized Dr. Thompson right away. Dr. Thompson, is everything okay? She called out. Linda turned to her. You know him, he probably fooled you too. Another nurse named David Chen walked over. Ma'am, that's our chief of surgery. I don't care what he told you, I know what I see. Linda put her hand on the hood of his car. Her voice got louder. More people started watching. Dr. Thompson checked his watch. His surgery window was closing. A patient was waiting. Here is what Linda did not know. Nurse Walsh had already called security, and the security guard coming, he had worked at this hospital for 22 years. Type unbelievable in the comments if you cannot believe what you just heard. Security guard Raymond Peters arrived at 4:54. 7 minutes had passed since the confrontation started. Linda saw him and felt relieved. Finally, arrest this man, he's trying to steal this car. Raymond looked at her, then he looked at Dr. Thompson. Good afternoon, Dr. Thompson. Is there a problem here? Linda's face changed. That was the first crack in her confidence. Ma'am, this is Dr. Marcus Thompson. He's the chief of surgery. That's what he claims, Linda shot back. Ma'am, I've worked here 22 years. I watched him get promoted. I was at the ceremony. Linda would not back down. Then you're in on it too. Now more people spoke up. This is the part where everything fell apart for Linda. Nurse Jennifer Walsh stepped forward. I've worked with Dr. Thompson for 8 years. He saved my father's life. Nurse David Chen added his voice. He trained me. He's in the hospital directory. He's on the wall inside. Then another doctor arrived. Dr. Patricia Okonkwo was coming in for the evening shift. She saw the scene and stopped. Marcus, what's going on? Why aren't you at Regional General? Your heart patient is ready for surgery. A worker named Marcus Williams walked by. That's Dr. Thompson. Everyone knows Dr. Thompson. 5 people, 5 witnesses, all saying the same thing. But wait, there is more evidence than just witnesses. Linda's own phone was still recording. She had captured the whole thing herself. The parking lot had 4 cameras. All of them were recording in HD. The security booth had another camera, clear view of everything. Nurse Walsh had started recording on her phone too, just in case. And the badge scanner had logs. It showed Dr. Thompson entered the hospital at 5:47 that morning. Raymond called his supervisor. He also called the hospital office. They sent more people to the scene. Security supervisor Angela Martinez arrived 3 minutes later. She pulled out her tablet. "Ma'am, let me show you something." She opened the hospital's staff directory. There was Dr. Thompson's photo, his full name, his title. She opened the board of directors page. There was his face again, his whole life story. She showed Linda the donor wall listing. Dr. Thompson donated money to build a new wing in 2019. Linda's voice changed. It got smaller. Well, how was I supposed to know? That question hung in the air. How was she supposed to know? Maybe by looking at his badge. Maybe by listening when he told her. Maybe by believing the 5 people who confirmed it. But Linda still would not move. "Fine," she said, "but I want an apology first." Martinez spoke firmly. "Ma'am, you need to step away from his vehicle, now." "I will not be spoken to like that." "Ma'am, you're on property you shouldn't be on. You've accused an innocent man. You're stopping a surgeon from reaching his patient. Step away." Here is a small moment of relief in this story. Right through all of this, Dr. Thompson stayed calm. He never raised his voice. He never lost his temper. After 18 years of high-pressure surgeries, he knew how to stay cool. By now, Linda Morrison was starting to understand her mistake, but her pride would not let her walk away quietly. That decision would cost her $980,000, her job, her reputation. Because everything she said next was also on camera. Comment below and tell me, what would you have done in Dr. Thompson's shoes? Officer Patricia Delgado arrived at 5:08 in the evening. She had been a police officer for 12 years. The hospital's head of security, William Bradford, was also on scene. The hospital administrator, Dr. Rebecca Hartwell, was on her way. Officer Delgado separated everyone. She needed to hear both sides. First, she watched Linda's phone video. Remember, Linda had recorded the whole thing herself. The video showed her own behavior. It showed Dr. Thompson being calm and polite the entire time. Then she watched the security footage on Bradford's tablet, 4 camera angles, all showing the same thing. She talked to the witnesses. All 5 of them told the same story. She checked Linda's visitor pass. It was issued at 2:30 that afternoon. It did not allow her to be in the physician lot. Now here is where Linda's story fell apart completely. Linda claimed Dr. Thompson was acting suspicious, but the video showed him walking normally to his own car, in his own parking spot, with his name on his coat. Linda claimed he could not prove he worked there, but his badge was visible. His name was sewn on his coat. 5 staff members said they knew him right away. Linda claimed she was protecting hospital property, but she had no authority. She was not staff. She was in the wrong lot herself. Linda claimed he threatened her, but her own video proved he was calm the whole time. He asked her nicely to move, over and over. If you are new here and want more stories like this, hit subscribe now. Officer Delgado made her decision. "Ma'am, you have 2 choices. You can leave on your own, or I can give you a ticket for trespassing and getting in the way of hospital operations." Linda was shocked. "This is ridiculous. I did nothing wrong." "Ma'am, the evidence says otherwise. I'll be talking to the hospital board about how I was treated." Here is the thing Linda still did not understand. Dr. Thompson sits on that board. "I want badge numbers from all of you," Linda demanded. "Ma'am, you can leave now or face charges." Linda made one last threat. "You haven't heard the last of this." She was right about that, but not in the way she meant. Security escorted Linda to her car in the visitor lot. She left the property at 5:20. Dr. Thompson finally got in his car at 5:22. He was 35 minutes late. He called the other hospital while he drove. The surgical team had kept his patient stable. They were waiting for him. He performed the surgery that night. It was successful. The patient recovered completely. Dr. Thompson got home at 11 that night. He told his wife about what happened. "I've had this happen before," he said, "but never this bad." Back at the hospital, the staff filed detailed reports. Several people reached out to Dr. Thompson to show support. But the story was far from over, because Nurse Walsh's phone had 7 minutes of video, and her daughter worked in social media. That night, her daughter asked a simple question: "Can I post this?" The answer changed everything. By 9 that Tuesday night, the video was online. The caption read, "Woman blocks black surgeon from his own car, accuses him of theft." By 10 that night, 50,000 people had watched it, 2,000 people shared it. By midnight, 500,000 views. The video was trending in the local area. By Wednesday morning, 2 million views. Local news stations picked up the story. By Wednesday evening, national news was covering it. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they all ran stories about it. By Thursday, 12 million people had seen the video. News outlets around the world were talking about it. Here is how the numbers broke down. On Twitter, the video got 8.2 million views, 340,000 likes, 180,000 shares. On TikTok, people reposted it everywhere, 4.1 million combined views. On Instagram, 1.8 million views. On Facebook, 2.3 million views, 45,000 shares. YouTube had several videos about it, over 3 million views that first week. The comments section was on fire. One person wrote, "This man saves lives," and she accused him of stealing his own coat. Another said, "He was calmer than I could ever be. That patience is amazing." Someone else posted, "She delayed emergency surgery because of her assumptions. Think about that." And this one, 15 years, chief of surgery, board member, and she saw a thief. The hospital put out a statement. They said they stand with Dr. Thompson completely. His service to the hospital was beyond question. Linda tried to control the damage. She deleted all her social media accounts, but people had already saved screenshots. She refused to talk to reporters, but saying nothing made her look guilty. Her friends tried to defend her online. That made things even worse. Share this video if you think more people need to see stories like this. 3 days later, Linda made another mistake. She called the hospital to complain. She said she had been treated unfairly. She demanded that Dr. Thompson be punished for embarrassing her. The hospital recorded that call. Dr. Thompson hired a lawyer named Vanessa Coleman. She handles civil rights cases. On April 3rd, they filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit said Linda had hurt his reputation with false claims. It said she trapped him and would not let him leave. It said she caused him serious stress on purpose. It said she got in the way of his job. Want to know how much he asked for? Keep watching. The lawyers dug into Linda's past. They found the pattern: 7 incidents in 18 months, all the same type of behavior. They found her old social media posts. Some of them showed a pattern of judging people by how they looked. They talked to her neighbors. 3 of them described her as someone who always worried about who belonged where. They got her work records. She had warnings from her company about how she treated people. They confirmed she had caused problems at this same hospital twice before. The evidence against Linda was huge: 4 camera angles, 2 phone recordings, 11 witness statements, 47 minutes of footage total. The worst part, her own phone video hurt her the most. She recorded herself doing everything wrong. The case was settled on October 15th. Linda's insurance paid some of it, but she had to pay a lot from her own pocket. Here is what she lost: $750,000 for the harm she caused, $150,000 as punishment for her actions, $80,000 to cover legal fees. The total came to $980,000. But the money was not all she lost. She was banned forever from St. Helena Hospital. That ban covered all 6 hospitals in the network. It covered 23 clinics too. A judge ordered her to stay 500 feet away from Dr. Thompson, away from his family, away from his workplace, for 5 years. Her employer fired her within 1 week of the video going viral. They said her behavior damaged the company's image. She tried to get other jobs. 3 companies offered her positions, then they did background checks. All 3 took back their offers. She tried to declare bankruptcy to avoid paying. The court said no. She had to sell her house to cover the settlement. Her lawyer released a statement. It said Linda regrets the misunderstanding. She never said sorry herself, not once. Dr. Thompson made a statement too. "I didn't do this for money," he said. "I did it because staying quiet lets this behavior continue. The next person she targets might not have the money to fight back like I did." He gave some of the money to the hospital's charity fund. That fund helps patients who cannot pay their bills. 1 week after the settlement, Dr. Thompson held a press conference. It was at the hospital where he works. The room was packed. Hospital staff filled the seats. Reporters lined the walls. Community members stood in the back. He stepped up to the microphone. The room went quiet. "I've been a surgeon for 18 years, he began. "I've held human hearts in my hands. I've had to tell families their loved ones didn't make it. Nothing in my life prepared me for being told I didn't belong at my own workplace." He paused. The room stayed silent. "I had witnesses that day. I had cameras. I had 15 years of work history. I had money for lawyers. But what about the people who don't have those things?" He looked around the room. What about the young resident who is just starting out? What about the nurse? What about the person who cleans the floors? What about the patient walking through the door? His voice stayed steady. "Most people who go through what I went through cannot fight back. They do not have a seat on the hospital board. They just have to take it and move on." He had a message for workers everywhere. Write everything down. Your dignity matters. Your safety matters. You do not deserve to be treated badly just for doing your job or just for existing. He had a message for everyone else too. Before you decide someone doesn't belong somewhere, ask yourself a question. What proof are you using? Is it how they act, or is it something else? He thanked the witnesses who spoke up. He thanked the staff who supported him. He thanked the hospital for responding quickly. Then he said one final thing. "I became a doctor to help people. I shouldn't have to prove I deserve to be one." This story is bigger than one parking lot. It is bigger than one woman and one doctor. Studies show 60% of doctors face harassment at work. Black doctors face it at almost twice the rate. Dr. Thompson won because he had power, he had money, he had cameras, he had witnesses. Most people do not have those things. Here is what changed because of this case. The hospital now trains all staff on how to handle these situations. Other hospitals in the area made new rules about visitor behavior. Here is what still needs to change. Most victims cannot afford lawyers. There is no list of repeat offenders. Workers can still lose their jobs for standing up for themselves. The question is simple. Will we wait for the next viral video, or will we fix the system? So let me ask you, do we keep waiting for these moments to go viral before we care? Do we keep treating these as one-time events instead of seeing the pattern? Do we accept that only people with money and power can get justice? Because if we do not fix the thinking that lets someone block a surgeon from saving a life, if we do not close the gaps that protect people who harass others, then we are just waiting for the next Linda Morrison, waiting for the next Dr. Thompson, waiting for the next time someone almost dies because of wrong assumptions. Here is something good that came from this. Dr. Thompson used his settlement money to help patients who cannot afford care. He turned something ugly into something that helps others. Comment below if you believe that blocking a healthcare worker should be a crime. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button right now. Click the bell so you never miss a video. We are going to keep sharing these stories. We are going to keep pushing for change. We are going to keep fighting for the workers who cannot fight back, for justice that does not need to go viral, for a world where your skills matter more than assumptions. This is not just about Linda Morrison. This is not just about Dr. Thompson. This is about all of us. It is about what we allow to happen. It is about what we are willing to tolerate. See you in the next one.